Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. It's Tuesday, October 27th. Coming to you live from our studio in Seoul, I'm Kim Mo-kyun. Before we get started, these are the stories we're following at the top of the hour. South Korea's economy returned to modest growth in the third quarter, marking the first quarterly expansion since the coronavirus pandemic began. The world is facing an even worse second wave of COVID-19 infections. The United States reached an all-time high 7-day average of 68,767 on Sunday, and Europe has also seen a massive uptick, with infections rising for more than 90 days. And conservative judge Coney Barrett has become the 9th U.S. Supreme Court justice, replacing late liberal Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who died last month. Barrett will soon be administered in the swearing-in ceremony at the White House. Now we start with some positive developments for the South Korean economy. The country posted its economic data for the third quarter, and it shows the first quarterly GDP growth this year. This comes despite the sudden resurgence in the pandemic over the past few months. For more, we connect to our economic correspondent, Heung-min. Heung-min, tell us more.
That's right, Morgan. The Bank of Korea said this morning that the country's third quarter GDP expanded by 1.9% on quarter. That is the first increase in South Korea's GDP this year after the country posted negative growth for the previous 2 quarters. It is also the largest quarterly jump in 10 years. Although some of this growth could be due to a base effect coming from the second quarter, which saw the lowest growth in over 11 years, the country's exports also contributed to the strong GDP figures. Exports jumped 15.6% on quarter, mainly on automobiles and semiconductors, as Korea's major trading partners like China saw a recovery. Imports rose just under 5%, largely on chemical products and crude oil, and facility investment also jumped 6.7%. Consumption, however, edged down by 0.1%, and construction investment was down almost 8%. On year, the economy contracted by 1.3%, a smaller drop than the previous quarter's 2.7% contraction.
Now, Heung-min, what did South Korea's finance minister have to say about this upon the release of the figures?
Right. Finance Minister Heung-min expressed his expectancy that the economy would continue to grow in the upcoming quarters. He said it was meaningful to see the pickup, especially in exports, which are a sign of economic recovery in general. However, he also mentioned that the resurgence of the COVID-19 pandemic in August was very disappointing, as it limited the recovery trend. He said that if the country had not seen the large spread of the virus in August, the economy might have seen a growth of over 2% this quarter. The minister also promised strengthened virus prevention measures and his support for the domestic economy and exports. That's all I have for now. Back to you, Morgan.
Thank you. That was Kim Sang-min. Now, on the COVID-19 situation in South Korea, health authorities reported 88 new cases on Tuesday, falling back into double digits for the first time in 2 days. Though the figure has dropped, authorities remain on high alert over cluster infections at long-term care hospitals and nursing homes. Of the new cases, 72 were locally transmitted, and most of which were in the greater capital area. 16 cases were from overseas. The total number of cases now stands at over 26,000, and 3 more deaths have been reported, raising the death toll to 460. The entire world has been hit hard by a second wave of COVID-19. In fact, some countries are shattering their single-day highs on an almost daily basis. As the numbers continue to spike, health experts are continuing to stress the importance of wearing face masks. Our Lee Seung-jae reports.
The world is facing an even worse second wave of COVID-19 infections than the initial outbreak earlier this year. Leading the number of cases is the United States, which reached an all-time high 7-day average of 68,767 on Sunday. The previous record was slightly over 67,000 in July. The week was also marked by 2 of the worst days since the pandemic began, with more than 83,000 cases on Friday and Saturday. Europe has also seen a massive uptick, with infections rising for more than 90 days, according to the European Center for Disease Prevention and Control. Spain and France each surpassed 1 million cumulative cases last week, and a number of others, including Italy, Germany, and the Czech Republic, are experiencing record numbers. While new regulations and social distancing rules are being introduced in European countries, many Asian countries are loosening their measures. Health experts say the global resurgence hasn't been as bad in Asia, as many people in these countries use face masks on a regular basis. It cited India, which at one point in September reported over 100,000 cases on a single day. It saw its numbers in October dip to the 40 to 50,000 range. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
The head of the World Health Organization has warned against politicizing COVID-19, urging leaders to act quickly to suppress the virus. Speaking on Monday, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus pressed world leaders to continue fighting the pandemic. His comments came a day after President Trump's chief of staff said the administration's focus has moved on to mitigation, not stamping out the virus. The World Health Organization chief also acknowledged that pandemic fatigue has set in. Another senior WHO official echoed the remarks, saying efforts should not be abandoned. Now, with only 8 days until Election Day in the United States, polls based on early votes cast show Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden has the lead in certain swing states. The COVID-19 pandemic has seen more than 60 million Americans vote early, with a lot favoring Biden over President Trump, according to a CBS poll. In Florida and North Carolina, key battlegrounds that may decide the outcome, the CBS poll shows over 60% of respondents who voted early support Biden. However, the poll also predicts that voting on November 3rd may lean heavily in Trump's favor. Coney Barrett has become the 9th justice on the U.S. Supreme Court. In the coming hours, Barrett will be sworn in at the ceremony at the White House. The appointment of the conservative justice was among the top priorities of Senate Republicans, despite strong opposition from the Democrats. Our Lee Kyung-eun reports.
Coney Barrett, President Trump's Supreme Court Justice nominee, has been confirmed despite objections from Democrats. At the final vote by the U.S. Senate on Monday at 7 p.m. local time, the conservative justice was backed by a Republican majority. It was a likely outcome given the Republicans' control of 53 out of 100 seats in the chamber. Democrats were vocal in their opposition, however, citing the lasting effect the nomination could have on the country's health care and the rights of individuals. The 48-year-old Barrett previously criticized rulings upholding Obamacare. The devout Catholic who personally opposes abortion also told that she believed the previous ruling legalizing abortion nationwide could be overturned. What has also angered Democrats is that the nomination comes just over a week ahead of the presidential election. Democrats have seen a Supreme Court nomination by former President Barack Obama back in 2016 refused because it was an election year. They call Barrett's nomination illegitimate, while also boycotting the Judiciary Committee's approval vote for Monday's confirmation.
We are boycotting this illegitimate hearing. The nomination of Coney Barrett is the most illegitimate process I have ever witnessed in the Senate.
Despite objections, Republicans had quickly pushed ahead with Barrett's nomination proceedings following the death of the late Democratic Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg last month. Lee Kyung-eun, Arirang News.
China's leaders have assembled in Beijing to formulate an economic blueprint for the next 5 years. It's thought their main agenda item is ways to tackle the diplomatic and economic pressure the U.S. is piling on Beijing. Our Kim Hyo-sun has the details.
China on Monday kicked off its 19th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China in Beijing. To take part in the 4-day closed-door meeting, top government officials, including President Xi Jinping and Premier Li Keqiang, gathered in Beijing. On the first day, President Xi, General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee, delivered a work report. The main agenda item was how to counter Washington's continued pressure on Beijing. Pundits believe this session will widely focus on building the country's so-called self-reliant economy. The committee will also be mapping out the country's 14th five-year plan for economic and social development, as well as future targets for 2035. Drawn up every 5 years since 1953, the plan is a major feature of China's governance system, setting growth targets as well as defining economic and social development policies to ensure national strategies keep pace with the times. During the CPC National Congress in late 2017, President Xi highlighted the importance of preparing for another journey forward, referring to the country's 13th five-year plan, which ends this year.
In this period, not only must we finish building a moderately prosperous society in all respects and achieve the first centenary goal, we must also build on this achievement to embark on a new journey toward the second centenary goal of fully building a modern socialist country.
The new five-year plan is expected to lay out measures to nurture a new development pattern that makes the domestic market as a mainstay, while letting domestic and foreign markets boost each other. The plan is also expected to focus on China's target of achieving over 5% annual growth. Heavy investment is also planned for major industries, including chips, AI, and telecommunications technology. Kim Hyo-sun, Arirang News.
NASA announced on Monday its very first discovery of water on the sunlit surface of the moon. Latest discoveries revealed that there could be more water molecules on the moon's surface than previously thought. Our Choi Min-jung tells us more.
NASA has confirmed for the very first time that water exists on the sunlit region of the moon's surface, which in the future could possibly be used for drinking and as a source of rocket fuel. Paul Hertz, director of astrophysics at NASA headquarters, said in a news briefing on Monday that SOFIA, NASA's airborne observatory, has discovered water molecules in one of the moon's largest craters visible from Earth.
Scientifically, it's interesting because we weren't expecting water. We weren't guessing that water could survive in the sunlit part of the moon.
In previous studies, NASA had found ice in cold, shadowed places near the moon's poles, although this fact did not directly verify the existence of water. However, the latest discovery of water molecules on the sunlit surface suggests that water may be present across the moon in other areas. In addition, another recent study based on NASA's data, led by planetary scientist Paul Heung, revealed that the moon could be harboring more cold traps than previously thought, implying the presence of even more water ice trapped in sheltered regions near the moon's poles, where the temperature is low. NASA now plans to expand their research to find more signs of water by first looking across the entire surface of the moon facing the Earth, and next, by looking at the moon's surface from a variety of sun angles. Choi Min-jung, Arirang News.
In sports, South Korean soccer icon Heung-min has become the lone top scorer in the English Premier League with 8 goals. The Tottenham forward netted a header in a 1-0 win over Burnley, the same club he scored his 70-meter dribble wonder goal against back in December. Having scored in each of his 2 previous league matches and his last Europa League appearance, the striker has extended his scoring streak to 4 games and now has a total of 10 club goals in all competitions. Son is now on track to record a double-digit goal tally in the Premier League for 5 seasons straight.
Good morning. Have a face mask that can block ultra-fine dust if you're in the central or western parts of the country. The air quality will be bad throughout the day today. Meanwhile, eastern parts of Gangwon-do province are still under dry weather advisories. Temperatures will not bother us much today, but starting tomorrow afternoon, chilly winds will blow in, plunging the mercury on Thursday morning to just single-digit morning lows here in the capital. But the air quality will improve thanks to sharp winds. Other than the central and western regions, you will enjoy decent air quality though. And highs will rise fast along with sunny skies to 20 degrees Celsius in most parts of the country. Seoul getting up to 20, Gyeongju, Busan at 22 degrees this afternoon. It's going to feel like winter by Thursday morning. Then the first day of November is forecast to be rainy, and that's going to usher in much colder air to the country. That's Korea for you, and here's a look at the weather conditions around the world.
That's a wrap for us at the hour on Arirang News. We'll be back with more of the day's headlines at noon Korea time, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching and goodbye.